We are live. Thank you for joining us. How are you, Tony?
I'm good, buddy. How about you?
I am so good. I am so good. It is an amazing day when we get to stay at home for a few days because of the snow. And you know, it's I know you've been snowed in just like me, but
Oh
it's
yeah,
been pretty fun.
it's just like a
I've got
regular
so
day for
much
me.
done around the house, so much stuff cleaned out, cleaned up, things done, and it's been pretty cool. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're live. This is the second show, season 7, 2024. Thank you for joining us. Here we go.
Thank you for watching or listening to the Overland Podcast. We're excited to be here. We're coming to you live as we do each week, bringing you the latest in all things outdoors and overlanding. The live show contains listeners, so join us with your comments and questions. Here we go. No pros, just bros on this show.
Well, I appreciate you jumping in for me last week and taking Jared on a little trip through the Overland Podcast. That was pretty nice.
I really enjoyed it. I was glad he's able to come on here, and we miss you though.
Yeah, I miss being here. Work calls sometimes. I hate it when that happens, but that's just kind of the way it goes sometimes. But we've got a special guest we want to add on here real quick. We've got Lisa from the Jasper Jeep Jam and Overland Rally. So let's bring Lisa in. Hello, Lisa.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, I think she maybe froze. Oh, there she is. She moved. Can you hear us?
Okay, now are you there?
Yeah,
There
we're
you
here.
are. There you
There
are.
I
Okay.
am.
Yeah.
Took a second.
Well, thank you for joining us, Lisa. From coming to us from Jasper, Arkansas, one of the most beautiful counties, Newton County in Arkansas. One of my favorite places to go for
Yeah.
many years. Right there at the mouth of the Buffalo River, and many different other things. Uh, so you had spoken with Tony earlier. Tony, why don't you take this over? See what she's got to say.
Yeah, so some friends of ours, Joe and Misty, from the day we
Hmm.
make, Misty called one day and she says, "Hey, there's this really neat event going on in Jasper. Want to know if I wanted to get involved?" And I said, "Heck yeah." So she introduced me to Lisa here, and we've been talking back and forth, and um, going over all the things. But I'm gonna let Lisa talk about it uh, here instead of me. She's probably more up to speed on it. So Lisa, take off here.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad you guys asked me to be on your show and be a part of this. I mean, this has been great. I mean, you guys and Misty and Joe have went above and beyond to help us get all things situated. You know, I like to say we had an idea and a passion, and you guys just jumped in and just took it to a whole nother level. And we're so super appreciative of you guys doing that. So, a little bit about me. I'm the director of Jasper Advertising and Promotions here in Jasper, located in the new Visitor Center and Convention Center on the square in Jasper. That's at 200 North Spring Street. We are in what the building called the old theater building. So it used to be an old theater and I think a bakery there at one time. So everyone comes in and said, I had my first kiss here, or we watched this movie here, and it's so cute. I love that. So that's where I'm located. My office is upstairs. And Jasper Advertising and Promotions is here to just promote the city of Jasper and promote our businesses. And we're here to host events for the city. We often do fundraisers for the city for JPAC, and that in return gets put back into the community. We provide free events and also concerts for everyone in the city and the tourists alike. So,
Right
with
on.
that being said, we try to come up with different ways to fund those things for the people in the city and for Newton County. And we came up with Jasper Jeep Jam and Overlanding Rally. So my husband and I are all into overlanding. We've been watching so many podcasts and YouTube videos, and we both have rigs. I think mine needs to be outfitted with a snowplow at the moment. But so we're having a lot of fun with it. And I thought, what better way than to bring something like that to Jasper, because so many people out here enjoy off-roading and camping and kayaking and canoeing and just all the beautiful scenery and overlooks that we have. Why not bring an event here where we can just network with everyone, learn skills, have fun, and get to know each other? So that's kind of how this came about, is to be a fundraiser for JPAC to give back to the community. And in return, we all get to have fun. So that's a little bit about how it started. So some things that we're going to have going on, of course, it's going to be Thursday through Saturday, March 14th through 16th. It's going to be held at the Newton County Fairgrounds. If you're looking up the location, it's actually called Newton County Fair and Rodeo. So it's not actually fairgrounds on the website. So it's going to be held there. It's a beautiful scenery. We have Round Top in the background, so it's gorgeous to look at. We're going to be having, let's see, a lot of classes. We're going to have the Forest Service come out and talk to us about trails and answer questions, which is cool. Yeah. We're going to have lots of vendors. We're going to have, and most of them are overlanding vendors. We're going to have demonstrators. Game and Fish is going to be out there doing things with the kids. We're going to have a movie night. We're going to have for the kids. We're going to have stories around the campfire for the adults by local historians telling us their favorite spots to go and favorite stories of the Ozarks. We're also going to have a day ride on Friday. We're going to have an Overlander show. So like Top Chef and different fun things. We'll have trophies. We'll also have a meet and greet every day with either a demonstrator or a local artist. And then Saturday is going to be like the day of all days. So we're going to have classes all day long for you to choose to go to. We're going to have a shopping with vendors. We're going to have a concert by Nuco Band, which we're super excited about. Award ceremonies, door prizes, you name it. It is going to be a very fun time. So we're excited for everyone to come out and take part in this first annual, because guys, it's going to be every year we're going to do this.
I love it. I absolutely love it. The last few times I've been through Jasper, I've noticed there's a change in that town.
There is.
I love it. Growing up there, I went to Dog Patch so many times and been through Jasper and stayed there. And I'm excited to see what's happening in Jasper. So this is
it's not cool just thing. The Ozark Cafe anymore. There's a little more to it now.
Yes. Oh gosh, Missy, I'm glad you said that, because I didn't write it down on my paper, but I'm so all about this. We're having a ladies Overlander lounge, and the Mad Mavens are going to come in and they are going to make their specialty margaritas for the mamas. So we're going to have a little area for us too. So when the guys are all hanging out doing their thing and swapping stories and showing their rigs and stuff, the girls are going to get together and have a little fun time too. So super excited about our swanky little lounge we're going to have. So it's going to be cool.
Right on.
Cool. Tony, do you have the flyer that you can throw up there for just a second so we can see? So once again, it's March 14th through the 16th, Newton County Fairgrounds. Now this has that you can look this up on, let's see, where did you get this from, Tony?
So if you go to the Facebook page for Jasper, Arkansas is where I found it. Okay. Follow Jasper, Arkansas. There'll be lots of local information there, but it's, Lisa, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure this is like a Facebook event, right?
Yes, sir. So it's located under the Facebook event, and everything that I put out every week on our Wake Up Wednesday that we do, our live broadcast that we do every Wednesday on the Jasper, Arkansas Facebook page. Under the events tab is shared all the information that I've put out there as well. So, like last week was meet the co-host, and this week is going to be meet the local historians for the stories that we're going to do around the campfire. So that
Awesome.
all is up there, as well as our event stuff will be uploaded this week, as well as our rules and different things. But if you go there to Facebook, you'll see the link that you can look at this flyer that's out. But if you scan the QR codes or touch the links on Facebook, it sends you right to Ticket Leap, where you can look at all the ticketing options as well, because we have day passes as well. You don't have to camp the whole time with us. You can come per day.
Okay. Where will the camping be?
So the camping will be on site on the campground. So like if your rig has a like my husband's has a rooftop tent, you can just camp right there wherever you park.
Awesome.
So we
At
have
the
designated
fairgrounds?
areas. Yeah, designated areas at the fairgrounds
Okay.
for people to be able to do that. And if not, and they drive a regular vehicle, absolutely bring your tent, just set up beside your vehicle or park your vehicle and set up your tent wherever you want. It's kind of open as of right now.
Cool.
As far as that, we'll be doing layouts next week and put that on Facebook as well, so they can pick a spot.
Awesome. I like it. That's what we do. We just camp wherever we're at. So that'll work.
That's
out.
right. That's
That'd
what
be
we
perfect.
do. We just camp. Yeah.
Well, that's neat. There's very few things that are offered in the spring like this, and so
Right.
this is a great time for you to offer this, especially with the classes, the trail rides, and the vendors and things like that. So everybody will
And
be
the
itching.
waterfalls.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
waterfalls are flowing.
lot of water that time of year. So everybody's itching to get out of the house. They've been snowed in all January and February. So when March comes, everybody's ready to go. So I think it's a perfect time to go.
I'm
And
already ready.
we're looking forward to it for sure.
Me too.
I am already ready.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. We really appreciate you coming on and sharing that with us. We'll try to have you on again before March and have you give us an update about how it's going. And love to hear more from you. So I appreciate you coming on.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a good evening.
Take
You
care,
too.
Lisa.
Bye.
Bye.
That's going to be fun. I'm really excited about that. I'm glad that Misty is getting involved with that because road there, and that's going to be pretty fun. Getting some lady stuff in there as well.
Yep. Yep. She,
Oh, man.
that's just right down the road from their house.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's and that's one of the most beautiful places in Arkansas. So if you haven't been up through there and been to Jasper, I don't know how you've missed it. I mean, there's everything around there. You go up to see the Buffalo Nature Center, go up and see the Buffalo River. You've got the Elk Center where you can go up and see elk. You've got Ozark Cafe.
There's a neat pizza joint. There's somebody went and bought the old gas station and fixed it up. That's where I got this the Red Oak Station in Jasper. I got this cup here.
Oh man, look at that.
Yeah, I'm really digging it. So I love what's going on there.
That's cool. Put that on the calendar.
That's right.
Well, man, it's been a long time since I've been on here with you. Since been before Christmas.
I know.
Since I've been on here with you, it's been a long time. But the wife and I had a good Christmas. How was your Christmas? Was it good?
It was good. It was good. We made most of the rounds, seeing family. I think some of them we sort of had to adjust plans because of COVID. But yeah. So,
well, we had a pretty busy one. I think we left as soon as school was out on a Wednesday. Went to Northwest Arkansas and did a little bit of hiking up there, but mostly stayed with family up there. Her family from Kentucky came in, and we stayed up there until I think Christmas Eve night. We drove home, got up on Christmas Day, had our Thanksgiving with each other. We're at my parents at noon, and then by 8:00 that night, we were headed to South Texas. So it was a blow and go. pack, unpack again, and type of deal. So we tried to have everything ready because we knew that we were going to try to leave about midnight, but I mean, we were just sitting around here and ready to go and thought, we'll just get down the road. When I get tired, I'll sleep. And so that's kind of what we did. And we ended up taking off about 8 o'clock. This was a new kind of trip for us. We had never been anywhere in the Subaru yet, and so we were planning on taking the Subaru and pulled the Taxa, and kind of interested to see how that was going to work out.
Yeah.
It didn't work out quite like what we had thought.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was. It pulled it fine. It had enough horsepower, but the transmission, it's got a funky transmission, I guess, and had to get in a lower gear with higher RPMs, and it took us from like 28 miles a gallon to about 9 miles a gallon. So that kind of changed things up a little bit because we were having to stop quite a bit and get fuel, even more so than what we would have gotten fuel in the FJ if we were pulling it. But the difference between the two was that it only costs like $28 to fill up the Subaru, and it costs like $60 to fill up the FJ. So it was a little bit different. Well, Brandon, appreciate you coming on here. Big Ben's on your bucket list. I got a few things I want to share about our time down there, and little tips and tricks about what you need to see and things you need to do if you want to go down there. So this is my third time down there. This was my wife's second, and it was one of the first places we went after we kind of got together. Her first time to stay in the rooftop tent was down there, and we just really loved it. But here's the problem about Big Bend: it's so big. There's no way you can see all of it in one trip.
Yeah.
I didn't realize even after you and I went down there 3 years ago, it takes 30-40 minutes to get anywhere down there, because it's, you're driving, once you get in the park, you got to drive 30 miles just to get to Panther Junction Welcome Center.
Yeah.
It is a long ways to get to anywhere.
It's it's such a big area.
Huge area.
Yeah.
And just knowing and having a little bit of insight can really help you once you get down there. One of the things I want to make sure that everybody's aware of, and we didn't really think about it until we kind of had the issue of getting only 8 miles a gallon in the Subaru, is that once you get down there within 150 miles of the park, the amount of gas stations goes to almost nothing. I mean, there's one gas station which is 80 miles north, and once you leave that little town, there's no other gas station until you get to Study Butte, which is only about 5 miles outside the park.
Which coincidentally is the same place that the nearest hospital is.
Nearest hospital is 80 miles away.
80
That's
miles.
correct.
Yeah.
So they do have there in Study Butte, they do have a sheriff's office and they do have an ambulance service. But if you do have to go to the hospital, it's an 80-mile ride to get to the hospital. And that is the closest one, believe it or not. Everything is so spread out, and there's a lack of a whole lot of things that you're kind of used to. But one of the things that you have to realize when you go into Texas is there is no public land. So we are very blessed here in Arkansas to have Ouachita National Forest, the Ozark National Forest, where you can camp anywhere in the National Forest. You can just, drive around with your maps until you find a place to stop. It's not that way down there. And, a lot of people say, well, we spend a lot of time camping in Walmart parking lots. Well, there's no Walmarts either. And so, in fact, I didn't see a Walmart after we went through Odessa, which is the ugliest place on earth. As far as all the places I've been. So it's really different once you get down there. That's just the things that you're not used to having. You just kind of have to plan for. One of the things that you will love having as to your advantage is Hip Camp. The Hip Camp app has really been very beneficial to us. We actually made reservations this time. We didn't make reservations last time because there's an abundance of places that you can stay down there. And the Christmas, New Year's time of the year is the busiest time down there. Uh, you can't go down there, or if you do, it's not wise. But if you go down there in the summer, you don't want to get out of the car because it's so hot.
Mm-hmm.
But um, that's why you go down there in the winter. It was a little bit colder this year than it has been the past several years. It got down in the 20s at night, and it was, of course, in the 50s, 60s during the day, which was perfect, absolutely perfect. We only saw clouds in the sky one day. It was just beautiful, sunny. The sunsets are like nothing you'll ever see. It's just amazing. It's just beautiful.
I mean,
But
that
having
that
that
year that year that we went with you, it was like shorts weather the whole week.
Yeah, I mean, it was just really warm, and
Yeah.
that was one of the reasons that Big Bend has always been on my radar, is because that's a good place to escape the winter cold. Like right now, it's the same down there as it was when we were there. So it's 60s in the day, 30s at night.
Yeah.
Where here it's like 9 degrees, and it's going to be a high of like 26 degrees tomorrow. And it was the high of 19 today. So it's a great place to go and escape the winter. Now it's a long ways down there.
Yeah.
It's 800. I live in central Arkansas. It's 800 miles or 900 miles from my house, 905 miles. And only 150 miles of that is in Arkansas. The rest of it's in Texas. So it is a long way down there. And all of it's in Texas.
Yeah.
So it's not a pretty drive to get. It's you see nothing, but once you get down south of Odessa, you get into big sky country, and it opens up. You can see for hundreds of miles, and it's just a whole different place. One of the darkest places in the United States.
Yeah.
It's part of the dark sky community, so you're able to see stars like you've never seen before. It's so nice. But that Hip Camp app is something that you definitely want to have. It is there's a lot of places to stay. We've stayed the same place every time. We've stayed at Coyote Crossing every time that we've been down there. It's about 3 miles north of Study Butte. It's a wide open place. You can camp anywhere. He has nice pit toilets. And we saw two other people there the 5 days that we were there. There was only two other people there, so it wasn't crowded at all. It was $20 a night, which is super cheap. Now there's a lot of different other kinds of places you can stay down there. One of my dream places that I would love to stay down there is the yurts. There's some yurts
I
that are up
knew
on
it.
the hill, and
I
I
knew
looked
it.
them up, and it's about $400 a night to stay in those,
Ouch.
and
Wow.
pricey. I think they have a clear top, so you can see the stars while you're just laying there. They're pretty neat, but a lot of different places.
Yeah.
Now, the other option that you have as far as places to stay is to get on recreation.gov, which I think is a joke, and
Yeah.
try to get a spot in the park. Now, if you were to go on there and look 3 or 4 months down the road, you'll notice that about 95% of the places that are on recreation.gov in Big Bend are already booked. Um, I think and this is just my being me, and I'm not, one of those who believes in all these what do you call them, conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
I think they do that. This is a private party that does recreation.gov. I think they do that just to um, keep it look like it's full, to keep the crowds down, and to keep the footprint, keep a lighter footprint on the place. Because I told the guy at the recreation center, he said, "Oh, you'll have to get this on recreation.gov." I said, "Well, you know what's funny about recreation.gov is I looked, and there was about four of these places we wanted to stay, and they said that they were booked, and we went to every single one of them late in the day, and nobody was there." And he said, "Yeah," he said, "that's probably because people book them, and it only gives you half your money back when you cancel, and that's only like $5 because it's only $10 a night to stay there. So it's not really even worth the trouble of going and canceling." So I think they do that to keep the footprint light. And so anyway, a lot of times you can stay there. Now we did run into somebody that was checking places, but you can go in there and try to get a spot and see if it works out for you.
That's right.
Who knows?
That's right.
We have a very special guest in the background waiting on us. We have the man, the myth, the legend. He loves him some Texas Rangers, and he wants to come on here and talk about the things that they have going on at Okie Overland. It's the one, the only Tater Mater. What's up, Mike?
What's happening? How's everybody doing?
Man, we're great. How are you? How are you?
Buddy.
I'm doing well. I'm ready for some cold camping. That's what I'm ready for.
Well, I'm glad you are, because the cold is here and the time has come. And there is the man, the myth, the legend right there, Mr. KR. How are you, buddy?
Good. How are you fellas?
Super great. Well, y'all have got an event coming up this weekend. Tell us about it.
The Polar Bear event.
Yeah.
Tate has been working nonstop on that, putting some hours in, getting some graphics done. I think we got, I can't remember what he said earlier, around 80-something rigs. I'll let him talk about it. It's his, kind of his baby, so I'll let him share with it.
Yeah, come on with it.
Yeah, so I got a call from Rhino, and he had this idea about putting a 4-state camp out together to test out some winter gear. So 4 camp outs in 4 states. The idea, Tony's got his diesel heater ready.
Man, I'm stoked.
But so the idea was 4 camp outs in 4 states. Each state you get a patch. And then at the end, if you attend all 4 camp outs and then you attend more expo and camp at more, then you get a plaque where all those patches will fit into one another. So they sent me pictures today. They did get the patches in time. We were kind of worried for our event that we weren't going to have them in time, but we should actually get them I think we'll get them Thursday morning. So patches will be ready to go out. Guys, if you're not registered, you don't get a patch. So get registered if you're going to be there. And if you've registered more than once, you're only getting 1 patch. There's a handful of people that have registered more than once. So I'm looking at it right now. We've got 83 rigs registered, but I sifted through it on the spreadsheet the other day and kind of weeded out some of the duplicates. And I think there's going to be about 75-ish rigs. That's if everyone shows up. So we'll see.
What's the weather looking like? Since this is going to be a polar bear type of thing, what's the weather looking like over there? What's the forecast? Give us a forecast.
We can be wrong on this. We don't have to worry about anybody getting mad at us.
That's right. Because weathermen are always wrong. I'm just asking for the forecast. That's all.
Yeah. Sunny with a chance of frozen mustaches. I mean, it's showing a low of 15 degrees on Saturday.
I love it. Well, if that's your low, that's been our high here for the last 4 days. So we're good. We're good. No big deal.
I know we're all primed for it now. Right?
And if anybody needs a diesel heater, go to Okie Overland and they'll build you one by Thursday, and that way you'll have it for this weekend. No big deal. It's no big deal.
We have ourselves, but that's it.
We are out of boxes. Actually, it's a good problem to have. We have sold out of boxes.
Oh wow,
Joey, I called these guys this morning. I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" He said, "I'm building diesel heaters."
All right, it's a bring your own box and get your diesel heater because they're out of boxes. So if you need one, bring your own box.
That's funny.
How is everything over there at the Okie Overland?
It's going good. Just a grind every day. We are at it 24/7, 365, quotes upon quotes, and
good.
Hopefully, half of them will mount to something.
What other kind of trips you got planned for this year?
Yeah.
Well, we got those next 4. Yeah.
We have one every month. So they're on our website, on our events tab. And then we're working on getting all the details put on the Facebook so that they all kind of link together and give you all the info. One thing a lot of people have asked us is how much are we charging? And me and Kyle kind of recollabed at the beginning of the year, and we said, how do we be better? What do we do to grow the community, right? So instead of a New Year's resolution, kind of for the brand is our word is just community. So that's going to be the focus, and that's the big thing that we're doing for the community is the camp out. So some of them will be trail trips. More of them than others will be more just camp trips, where there will be options to wheel, because the idea is to get more people into overlanding than people we have now. So, I mean, to break business down, the only way we make more money is we get more people through our door. And the only way to get more people through our door is to teach people about it. So that's the gist.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm excited about. I've never been to Robbers Cave, so I'm really looking forward to that one. And then I'm looking forward to getting back to Big Bend. I've only been there the one time, and I know that's on your list at the end of the year. So hopefully that all comes to pass. I'm looking forward to that too.
If you guys be mindful too, for your friends, family, anybody that's doing this, you don't have to have the rig to go. That's what we're trying to get out. Just get out. That's all we want to do is get people out. So if you're a backpacker, you want to see how this works. If you want to just kind of, hey, I want to go camping, I have all that stuff to go, bring your Coleman tent. That's what this is about. It's not a rooftop tent. It doesn't have to be limited to anything like that. So just show up and come so we can enjoy it and you can see everything and hang out. So that's what we're trying to get the community out.
Yeah. Yeah, most of that gear will transfer over. If you have a small car and everything fits in your backpack, you can do everything that we do. So I have all the gear, and I'm kind of a bougie backpacker though. I don't have a Coleman tent.
We know you have
my backpacking tent costs almost as much as my rooftop tent. So you can get into car camping pretty cheap compared to some backpacking stuff.
And it doesn't even weigh pounds; it weighs ounces, right?
Ounces, yes, ounces. When you give me a 2-person shelter that weighs less than a pound, that's impressive.
Yeah,
that's impressive to me. So
I saw you guys. You did like a bumper and a winch on a GX. I saw that. What else you got coming up? Any cool mods? I mean, that GX looks pretty slick with that bumper.
Well, somebody reached out about a Subaru or something. I don't know who that might have been.
Yeah, a Subi.
Oh, okay, there he is.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
I told Kyle, I said, I mean, I love Joey, and I'm here for the day, but to do a roof rack on a roof rack on those Subarus, apparently you have to drop the entire headliner out of the vehicle.
You said you'd do it for me. You said you'd do it for me.
I did. So
yeah.
We're let's see, we've got a 5-inch 4Runner getting ready to come in. We're gonna be cutting the hole, doing a snorkel upgrade.
Can't you just use some like short self tappers or something and just drill right in?
No.
I'll put extra RTV on it.
See,
no.
I mean, that self leveling stuff works great.
Let me tell you, the roads are icy around here, and I've got the FJ Cruiser that I absolutely love. And then we've got the Subaru, and we had to take my wife to Walmart a while ago, and I said, I would rather somebody run into the FJ than the Subaru. We're taking the FJ. So I love that Subaru. No, we're not doing self-tapping screws. What's wrong with me, man? God, love that thing. Never spent so much money on a car in my life. It's something. Well, hey guys, we know that you got lives, and we appreciate you coming on here. But remember, to get signed up, where do they need to go to get signed up for the thing this weekend?
Oh, there's an event on Facebook that will link you to the Eventbrite link where you can register. I'll see. I can send it out.
You go to Polar Bear Camping Club event, and right at the top it says "Find Tickets."
Okay, I like it. So make sure you get signed up for that. And there is no cost for that, right? You just have to register and show up.
Correct. Yeah, and we're doing a chili cook-off. And our buddy Ryan with Seasucker, they've donated some prizes. So we're going to be giving away a Seasucker kitchen, some other Seasucker stuff. So we're going to do on the competition, we're going to do obviously best chili. And then we're going to do one more we haven't really finalized yet. But Kyle said we should do like the next prize is like the worst chili or something. I was like, I don't know if we can call someone out like that. But
Hey, dude. I'm on here. I just realized that I hadn't registered yet.
Unbelievable.
And I know good help's hard to find, isn't it?
Good grief.
What about Joey? Did Joey register?
No.
I have not registered.
Well,
Why not?
Good to see you guys.
good to see you guys.
Yeah.
I would like to suggest. I think that at the polar bear, all the polar bears, they should have an ice cream competition. I don't know why you wouldn't eat ice cream when it's so cold.
So I
you're
was
gonna
going
eat
to,
chili because it's hot.
right.
Eat ice cream because it's
You
cold.
know, you got to.
If we're going to be camping on the lake, we might as well just take a polar plunge too.
We don't even have to have a dual zone freezer for it. I mean,
No.
No, you don't need
So
to
I was
do
going to say, it looks like it's not open for tickets anymore this weekend. It says
Is it closed?
sales ended.
Uh-oh.
we could have hit the 100 mark and have to open it.
No, I'm looking at it right now, showing 83. I'll have to get with Chad and see, because when you create these, you set date parameters. I bet the date just got.
I bet they did close it since tomorrow's Wednesday or so.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't be an issue. I'll shoot a text out right now, and I bet we'll have it resolved.
No patch for tonight.
Yeah.
patch
Well,
for
if
me.
y'all are getting the patches by Thursday, you need to register tonight, if at all possible. So, send Okie Overland a message or something saying that you want in, and they'll try to get you in somehow,
Yep.
some way. We can do it.
Worst case scenario, I can register you at the event. Just make sure when you guys get to the event, come find me or Rhino or Kyle. Probably not Kyle, because Kyle doesn't do technology.
Kyle won't have a clue. Don't go
and
see
we'll get
him.
you checked in. Yeah. He won't have a clue.
Mm-mm. He won't have a
Joey, why aren't you coming this Saturday again, huh?
I'm kind of on the fence about this. I'm having hip issues, back issues, or hemorrhoids or something. I can't remember.
They make a cream for that, don't they?
Yeah, I'm loaded up. I'm creamed up.
Yeah,
All creamed up.
geriatric cream.
That's what I heard.
I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you. Y'all have a wonderful day. And let me just say, go to okie-overland.com. They have a list of all their events that they're going to be doing once a month. The very last one of the year will be a trip to Big Bend, and that's what we're talking about tonight. And I have a lot to talk about on that. So thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Good to see you.
See ya.
This weekend.
See you Saturday.
Yep. All right. Oh man, love those guys.
I know it.
Absolutely love those guys. Some of the best guys that you will see out there. Okie-overland.com. Visit them in Tulsa, and they will get you hooked up on anything and everything overlanding. Amazing guys.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle drove all the way out to our listener camp out and got there in the middle of the night when we were sitting around the fire giving stuff away. This big old train of people came in. That was amazing seeing that. So cool. Loved it.
Yeah.
Well, back to Big Bend. What I was talking about is you definitely want to have hip camp. You definitely want to have a place to stay. The guy at Coyote Crossing, super guy, stayed down there 3 different times with him, and has a really nice place there. So you definitely love being there. But if you need a backcountry permit for any reason, if you're going to be doing any backpacking or if you're going to be camping inside the park, you have to have a backcountry permit. Now, if you find a place that you want to stay that's really nice, and it's one of the places that you have to get inside the park, here's a helpful hint. Panther Junction is the very first, and it's always first come, first serve. Panther Junction is the very first visitor center that's open. It opens at 8:30. We needed a backcountry permit, and there was a place that we wanted to stay because we were backpacking in the Chisos Basin. And we wanted to get this particular spot, so we wanted to be there early. And I'd read several times, if you don't get there early, you may not get a spot. So we get there about 7:45. It was about 45 minutes before they opened.
I'm sorry, dude.
I know. I see Kyle.
He's down there.
Oh, I kicked his butt off.
He'd be embarrassed if we plop him back in the podcast.
I swear, it's hard to find good friends. Anyway,
sorry. Go ahead.
We get there. We get over there to Panther Junction about 7:45, and there's one guy that's ahead of us. He had beat us there, so he was first. We were second. And then by the time they opened at 8:30, there was only 3 or 4 people in line. There was 2 people behind us. They let him in. There was 2 people that helped, so we got up there. We got our spot. It takes about 20 minutes or so to tell them what you want. They ask you a few questions and different things, and they enter all your have a little bit of paperwork to fill out for you to get your permit, and then have to enter it in and all that. Well, we were in there about 20 minutes. Takes about 20 minutes per person. I turn around because I am so attuned to what this guy is telling me, making sure that we get the right spot, all this other stuff. I have no idea what's going on inside this place. But I turn around after we're there 20 minutes, the line is out the door. There's about 20 something people that are in line. Well, if you count that 2 people being helped at a time at 20 minutes a time, if you're 3 or 4 people back, you're going to be there over an hour. And so, and plus you have to make sure that those people in front of you don't get what you want, or you have to have a backup plan or anything like that. So, a little bit of advice here: get the Panther Junction if you got a place that you have that it says it's reservation first come first serve, which is all the places down on the River Road are first come first serve. There's quite a few places that are in the park where you could camp for $15 a night, and you have to get there at one of the visitor centers. You have to get registered, and you have to get there before anybody else does register. And so, get to Panther Junction early. They do not lock the gates to get in the park. So you can get in the park 24 hours a day, but you cannot get into a visitor's before 8:30, and they are the first ones to open. So that's another helpful hint. If you do go around Christmas time when these guys are planning on going, you and I went about 9 o'clock in the morning one day, and it took us almost an hour to get in because the line getting in was backed up. And so we went one day about 8:15 or so, and there was about 15 cars in front of us. We had already been and paid, so we just got to drive on through, but we had to wait until every single car in front of us paid and went through. So
there's not a fast track if you've
not a
already got
fast
your
track,
airport.
not a fast track. So if you want to get in the park and get some things done and make use of your time, go before 8 o'clock. Otherwise, there's going to be a line. One day after we backpacked the Chisos Basin, we came out about 11 o'clock to get some lunch, and there was about 50 cars in line. And so it was just one of those. It's just one of those things that this is the busiest time of the year. They have big marquee signs that say, "Please be patient. This is the busiest time of the year." And there's one line to get in, and that's it. One line to get in, and if all the people that are in front of you have to pay, then you're just stuck. You're just stuck behind them. Now, one of the things that I wanted to recommend was places to go. This was the first time that we had ever been to Boquillas. If you don't have your passport, get your passport. Boquillas is worth it. It's really neat place. Now, there's not a whole lot to see, not a whole lot to do. This little village is 300 miles from any other village in Mexico. And so they get all of their supplies from the United States. They get all their gasoline, they get all their food. Most of their food is grown, delivered across the border. They get all their electricity from solar, which I think is cool. Yeah. But you get to go across the international ferry, which I think that's hilarious that that's what they call it. But the international ferry is a man in blue jeans who's wading in the river, who guides a flat bottom boat 15 feet from one side to the other. So
a John boat.
You,
like 14-foot flat bottom boat.
Mm-hmm. It costs you, I think it was $5 a person for a round trip. And you pay this nice little man in a cowboy hat on the other side, and he gives you tickets to come back. And then you have your option of whether you can ride a donkey, you can walk, or take a truck into town. That's about 3/4 of a mile. We decided to walk. You are assigned a tour guide to help you communicate with everybody, because there's a whole lot of people that are selling homemade things, trinkets, and different things that you can bring
Walking
back with
sticks.
you. Yeah, koozies,
Oh,
towels, all kinds of stuff. And so you get a tour guide. He goes with you everywhere that you go. And then there are a couple places that you can eat. So they have a couple places, a couple diners, cafes, or whatever. We ate at one of the cafes there. The food was outrageous good. It was some like I'd never had before. It was it was really good, really good. And we ordered two different things and then shared the both things because we wanted to try so many different things. The prices are not astronomical; they were very reasonable. I think we ate for about $30 US. That included the tip. Great service. In fact, our tour guide was actually one that also served our food and refilled our drinks and things like that.
right on.
So it was really nice. We really enjoyed Boquillas. You know, when you and I went down there, we only got to go to the overlook where you can see part of the town or thing like that. And so we really didn't get to go in. But if you have a passport, take your passport. It's so easy to get in. They just look at your passport, make sure it's up to date, make sure it's you, and then you go across. Now, some of the places that we had researched said that after you go across, you have to go to a little place on the other side that will check your passports. And if you're going to stay the night, they'll give you a visa or something like that. There wasn't anything like that. All there was a bunch of men, bunch of donkeys, and that was it. And pickup trucks going back and forth. That was it. There was no international place where you get your passport stamped or nothing like that. It
No
was
official check station.
nothing official
Yeah.
whatsoever.
You know, I saw Galen posted. It's been like 30 years since he was there, and I think I know now why why it's been 30 years.
Oh, because they almost got shot
Because he
crossing.
almost got shot by one of the boat guys.
Yeah, I
Galen,
see that.
are you thinking about going back the end of this year with the OK Overland guys?
Now,
Be a fun trip.
last year when we stayed down on the river road, we were really close to Boquillas. So when you leave and when you leave from Boquillas, the river road's not very far. And then we stayed only about a mile down the river road at one of the very first campsites. Now I was standing there cooking dinner one afternoon and I heard something. All of a sudden, these cows ran through our campsite, and then there were men on horseback chasing them. And so, you know, you will encounter people crossing the border down there, and I don't know how safe it is. I mean, who really knows? Um, can't trust him. I have to think about that. He'll tell us around the trip. But anyway, I didn't feel unsafe the whole time I was down there. It's not really a place where illegals cross, um, but because it's all mountains and it's all cliffs and there's nothing um, between you know the border and 300 miles away. There's just nothing to keep people alive. So it's not really one where they'll cross. Now,
Yeah.
one tidbit of interesting information was that the last 2 years we've had a closed border when we went down there, and about 50 miles north of there is the border check station. And both times the last 2 years when we went down through there with a closed border, there was nobody at the check station and we never got stopped. Now we have an open border and we actually got stopped at the check station, which that makes no sense to me.
No.
But they stopped us, asked us if we were Americans, where we had come from, and where we were headed. And I said, yes. We had been to Big Bend. We're headed back to Arkansas. And he said, thank you. Have a good day. And that was it. And so that was very interesting. But I mean, who knows how that is ran these days. But
You know,
anyway,
I had heard at one point in time that border section along the national park there was monitored pretty heavily, just because of, it being like a tourist situation, and some this where they monitor it quite a bit, so they don't have a whole lot of you know concern about some of that stuff.
Yeah.
safety wise.
And United States is all about tourism, and this being a national park, it's just like every other national park that you go to. There's a huge percentage of people that are there that are not Americans. We hiked down to the Window Trail, and I bet we heard 10 different languages going down through there.
Oh,
And
really?
it was inhabited by quite a few that were not from here, if you know what I mean.
Not from
They
around
weren't
these
speaking Texan, I know that. But it was, and so yeah, they want to keep that safe, and so we saw quite a few guys who were in uniform carrying weapons. We saw quite a few, and they have a huge number of volunteers. And so, yeah, there was not one time that I did not feel safe
Yeah.
going down there. So I definitely go to Boquillas. Boquillas is a neat place. If you have your passport, if you don't try to go. You can't go. But if you don't have your passport, go to the Overlook. If you go to the Boquillas Overlook, you can see the city, and there will be some locals there. If the river's down where they can cross, they just walk across right there, which doesn't make any sense to me at all. Again, because over here, not 100 yards this way, is you have the place where you have to actually show your passport to cross, and then at the Boquillas Overlook, they're just walking back and forth across the river. So that makes no sense either.
It's a great spot for a nice lunch.
Great lunch. Oh man,
Great
you can
lunch
back
spot.
your rig up and be overlooking the Rio Grande. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Plus, they have a place there where you, on your honor, can purchase a few things. Now, those things can be seized, as they're considered contraband because they were brought over illegally. But when we came back through customs, they just asked, "Are you bringing like food items back?" When they never looked through our stuff. They only asked us if we were doing that, so it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But if you go to the Boquillas Overlook, they have pretty much all the same stuff. They have the koozies, they have the different things that you can purchase, and on your honor, they have these big giant places where you can drop the stuff in there. So, really neat place. Really neat place. I would highly recommend that. The Chisos Basin. You and I did not go down there. If you don't get to the Chisos Basin early, you won't be able to get in. The couple times we went by the entrance to that, there was cars lined up, and by 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, there's not a whole lot of places to park up there. That's where a lot of the backpacking, a lot of the best trails in the park are. There's a restaurant up there. There's cabins, hotels, all this other stuff. But let me tell you, this area is a completely different area in the park. So in the park, you are like in a desert. There's rocks, cactus. It's just red rock and cactus, pretty much all that is. When you start going up into the Chisos Basin, there are oak trees. There is a place where we actually saw fall colors. It just transforms into a completely different area, and
Like a
it's
different
so
environment.
beautiful. Different environment. It's so
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah.
But you just go up into the mountains, and it takes you all the way to the top of the mountain. And at the top of the mountain is this area where they have all the cabins and the hotels and different things like that. That's where you can hike down to the Window, which is pretty much just a V slot that you go down to, and you can see a lot of the park from there. The South Rim is what we backpacked on. We did a 15-mile backpack trip on the South Rim. When we got up to the top of the South Rim, and this was my wife is amazing. She did this carrying a 20-pound pack. We stayed the night up there. Amazing.
Froze your heinies off, didn't you?
It was cold. It was not as cold as what we thought it was going to be. The night before we went up there, it got down to like 12 degrees. But the night that we were up there, it was in the 30s. I mean, it wasn't just horrible, but it was still pretty cold. But we had a great spot out of the wind. But when you get up to that south rim and you look, it's just like you go up and then the mountain just stops, and it's like being at the Grand Canyon. I mean, I took so many pictures. There's no way those pictures can do it justice. It is outrageous, beautiful. Now it's a tough hike to get up there, but it was worth it. It was unbelievable, beautiful. So the Chisos Basin is definitely something you want to go to because it's completely different. It blows your mind how just being in this little set, this little set of mountains can completely change the environment, where you have trees and all different kinds of animals and grass, and it's neat. So
Yeah.
Chisos Basin, have to get there early.
Yeah.
Have to get there early. We got up there when we started a backpacking trip. We were pulling in when the sun came up at 7 o'clock. So we got up there pretty early. When we came down the next day at 11 o'clock, all the way down at the bottom of the mountain, there was probably 20 cars that were in line, and they were only letting one up when one came down. And those
Wow.
people who go up there are up there for a while. So anyway, just a little tidbit of information there.
Right on.
There is gas stations inside the park. So if you get low on gas, right by the Panther Junction, and also down at the end, on the southeast end, there is another gas station as well at the campground down there. So if you get low on gas down there, other than that, Study Butte is the only gas station around there, and the lines getting gas there are constant, and it's a fight
Yeah.
to get gas there. And so
there's two gas stations in Study
two
Butte,
gas
right?
stations, and there's one gas station in Study Butte is all there is, just one. There are two inside the park, but there's only one gas station. There's a grocery store where we got our water. There's a grocery store, hardware store. If you need water, you can buy water. You don't have to buy, if you don't need like drinking water, you can get water out of a water hose. It's like 20 cents a gallon. We got water there to wash dishes, do things like that, clean up with. And so we went down there, filled up with that. This hardware store has pretty much everything you could ever want: ice cream, deli meat, snacks, food, steaks, breakfast stuff, and then it has a full thing of produce, and then it has a whole bunch of camping stuff as well.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
And there's a little cafe that's in Study Butte that's really good. We ate there one time, but it's a really nice area. But yeah, there's only one gas station there in Study Butte, and there's not one in Torlingua, but you can go all the way to where the Goat Mayor is, and there's a gas station there.
Lajitas.
Lajitas. So it's about 20 miles west.
Clay Henry.
Yeah.
Mayor Clay Henry.
We went and fed Clay Henry. We saw Clay Henry. It's funny because the goat that he has living with him, the female goat, she is cranky. It's really fun. Yeah. Gia tried to feed
broke all the time.
Clay Henry, and the female goat came and headbutted that sucker and got him out of the way so she could eat all his food. It was funny. Fun times. Another place that I would recommend you go is Terlingua Ghost Town. Spend some time there. Really neat history about this place. Mercury mines killed so many people. They've got a cemetery there that's out of this world. But really nice little place to shop there. And then the Starlight Theater. Now, a little heads up about Starlight Theater. This is a very famous place. They only have 16 tables. They open the doors at 5:30, and at 5 o'clock, there's about 100 people in the line. So you need to get there. We got there about 3:30, and we were the second ones in line. We were the second ones to be seated, and they don't seat everybody at once. And then this little man comes out there at about 5:20, and he stands up in a chair and he screams to everybody. He says, "We only have 16 tables. If you're not the first 16, you could be out here for 2 hours. And if you don't like that, this is the highway. You can go back home." I thought that was pretty funny. But anyway, it was great. The food there was great. We got mixed grill, had quail, shrimp, had a had a steak with it. The brisket queso, out of this world, out of this world, so good. And they had a live band, so that was pretty fun. So we love it down there. We did. I think we added it up on our trails app when we came home. We actually hiked 33 miles while we were there. So we did quite a few hikes. If you're not into outdoors, it's not a place to go. There's not a place for the kids, not a place, not anything for the kids to do unless they like walking. There's just not like a lot of the other national parks, just a whole lot of stuff to do. You have to like to be outdoors. The weather was perfect. It doesn't rain very often at all. There's a lot of off-roading that you can do. The river roads down there. There's some Jeep Badge honor trails that are down there. But it is
something that we've never gotten to do. When we were there, we just ran out of time.
Same here. And, and 3 times I've been wanting to drive the river road and still have not gotten to do that. There's so many things to do down there, and everything is so far apart that when you do something, it takes all day.
Yeah.
And, we drove down to the state park. We went down to the state park to see that. Some great hoodoos on that road. The hoodoos are the skinny rocks that are skinny at the bottom, big at the top. A whole bunch of hoodoos that are right along that road. There's some nice places to stop. Beautiful scenery. One of the most beautiful roads you could drive down. But it just takes forever to get in.
We didn't get to go to the state park when we were there. So
no, we went past it. We went past the visitor center. When we drove that road that followed along the river, and we went up to the top where you flew your drone, and we got to see people floating down the river. That's in the state park. Yeah. That's the state park.
Yeah. Okay.
So we didn't go actually into the state park. We just stayed on the highway, but it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. There's another place called Marfa down there that has these lights that come on right at dusk, and they don't know what it is. But you can look up the Marfa lights, and if you go past where we stopped back to the state park, down there a little further, you'll come out at Marfa. So there's quite a few things down there that you can see and do. But make sure that you've got Hip Camp. You'll have a place to stay. Make sure you go to Boquillas, or at least the Overlook. Go to the Chisos Basin. Go to Terlingua Ghost Town, and even go to Lajitas and see the Goat Mare. That's pretty neat. But you do all that, you'll love it.
That's a busy week right there.
Busy week. And plus, we threw in a backpacking trip, so that took almost 2 whole days. But it was so worth it. If you like hiking, that's an amazing place because it's not hot, and you stay cool. Beautiful, so beautiful. But anyway, that was our trip. And if you want to go down there with somebody and some people who know their way around there, plan it for the end of this year. Okie Overland is going to be going down there and seeing and doing some things. I think it's going to be a cool trip. So we'll be getting with Tate, Kyle, and see what we can work out about getting down there with them. Man, what a show!
What an hour!
Can't believe it.
So before I forget,
Shop Overland Apparel.
Yeah, any of our stuff, our merch, our tees, patches, stickers, all that good stuff. Shop Overland Apparel.
That's where you get it. Yeah. Well, hey everybody, thank you for joining on here with us and coming on here with us. I'm going to sit down with my wife and visit with her about her time at Big Bend and get her on there and see if we can't get her to come on here and give her 2 cents about what we did down there in Big Bend, because let me tell you, she was a trooper. She's a trooper, and pretty cool what all she did. I walked 33 miles and she did too. She made every step I did. That's amazing.
On purpose? You did this on purpose? Yeah. Okay.
And let me tell you, a lot of people think that I heard all these places that we go to, and she is very adamant that she did this before she met me. So I just want everybody to know that. But anyway, man, thank you for being on here with us. we appreciate you so much for being on here. We'll be back here same time, same channel next week. Bat time, bat channel.
That's right.
All right, buddy. Have
what
a
is
good
it?
one.
Don't step in number 1 and miss out on number 2 or something. What is it? No. Set.
Until next time, look out for number 1. Don't step in number 2.